This is what they're making, and they're just hazel with points either end, and then we twist them and it makes like a staple. We actually fasten the new straw onto the old straw with the staple, and that, so far on here we've used 5,500 of these staples on here. As you can see, it's a big part of our job, is just making these and preparing all the straw. The main roof on here has been on here about nearly 40 years. Water reed's got a lot longer lifespan than long straw. The long straw, yes, 25, maybe 30 years with a re-ridge in its lifetime. When we re-ridged it, we just put a new cap on the top of this one. It took us about 3 weeks to do that and rewire it, obviously, but we had to rebuild the chimney as well. We put about 8 courses on top of the chimney for regulations now. You can see on this one as well, we've got cut gables on here. If you look at the edges, they're not rolled.
How long have you lived here? We've been here 14 years. We expected to have it done very soon after we arrived here.
I've seen the pictures when you moved in though, it was horrendous, it was. A lot of work.
But this is even better this side than it was before. It wasn't quite so attractive before, was it?
No, it had vertical cheeks cut and it was cut funny, and it was
flat across the face, isn't it?
From the edge here to the top of the pinnacle is close to 4 foot.
Wow.
It's an incredible amount, because what's happened is over the years the side of this house has actually fallen away, and we've had to build the thickness up to try and keep the coatwork looking level on the front.
Wow. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Now this one then, it's not really free. It's got all the layers like the other one.
No, what we've had to do, this one was in such bad condition that all the eaves were actually falling out. There is actually old coatwork underneath, but what we've done is we've taken all the eaves and all the gables all the way out and replaced them totally. So there is actually old straw underneath. I served a 5-year apprenticeship, but there's some thatchers that they'll do a year, think they can do it, and then they'll go and try it. But again, it's taking pride in your work. Where we were on here for 3.5 months. In East Anglia, we've got the best thatchers in the world that live in this area, and they're all based around this area. And even in other parts of the country, they haven't got waiting lists that we've got, because we're long straw thatchers as well, which is a harder trade than doing water reed. Water reed comes prepared, and it's a lot easier to put on the roof compared to long straw. But luckily the councils nowadays are insisting that they go back to the base material, which was long straw. In this area is mostly long straw. We tried to get planning permission to change different bits on this house, and the councils are so strict now, we had to wait for 14 weeks just to get an appointment with one of the councils to come out. And then he just turned up and said no. So it's quite complicated owning these listed buildings now, but it's good in some ways because it is stopping them being changed. Yeah, we had 6 tonnes delivered straight from Yorkshire to this site, but we also brought along probably about another 3.5 tonnes of our own straw that we had at the farm. Yeah, so it's 8.5 to 9 tonnes of straw we've used on this roof, which has all got to be pulled and prepared out there by hand. And you know, the stack, you couldn't see the base when the stack was here, because it's a big stack of straw. Because straw doesn't weigh very much, you know, so it's a lot of straw. You know, so
So you have it delivered on, like, in bales, or
Yeah,
how
it's
does it?
similar to a bale, but obviously it comes through an old-fashioned knotter like they used to have on the back of the thrashing drum. So although they look a little bit like bales, they're not as square as bales would come. Usually the heads are all one way as well. And the straw actually looks like it's still got the wheat in it because it's been thrashed out rather than being the heads being cut off. All the heads are still on there, but the chaff, but the wheat's all gone from it. So.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, I actually thought that it looked like they still had the wheat.
Yeah, there is occasionally the odd bit of wheat that's been missed, and if we do have damp, warm weather, then it will start to sprout at the roof, which we don't want. We have to go and pick it all out by hand. But it's, most of the time it's pretty good. Like this has been on several months now, and it's there's nothing sprouted now. Now the winter's coming, it won't either. So. Different councils have different policies. You're not really have to get planning permission to have your house rethatched because it's classed as a repair and you're repairing like for like. Where some people are saying you need a listing buildings consent, but there's only very few councils that actually ask for that. And I think there's only one council in this area that actually asks for that. And usually you just ask for it and they give it to you, as long as the Thatchers, because we're on the council list as well for doing council work.
Like approved.
That's right. As soon as they hear our name, then usually they just approve it, which is good for us. Again, which makes life easier in those areas for us and for the house owner if they have us do it. So.